Is Tesla stock a buy here at around $350 per share? The short answer is no, but the long answer, maybe. So stick around for this whole video here because I am going to go through my reasoning for this, and I'm also going to share with you what I would personally do if I was investing in Tesla stock for the first time here today. So it's going to be a fun video, guys. If you appreciate it, just hit that like button down below for the YouTube algorithm. It helps out a ton. But either way, let's get into it. So guys, I've been getting this question all over YouTube, in my VIP group, everywhere. Is Tesla stock now a buy here at around $350 per share? So let's start off by looking at the charts here. We can see that Tesla had a rough week recently, and this was after all the news and optimism about the stock splits has died out. But just remember that news gave us a huge run in this stock to over $500 per share. But now we've finally come back down to earth and we've cooled off by more than 30% in just a few trading days. But can you really be surprised with this movement here, with this sell-off? In my opinion, what we saw in Tesla, especially after that stock split, was just FOMO and bubble-like behavior, and it was just a matter of time before things actually cooled off and the stock sold off. Now, it is a pretty drastic sell-off, I'm not going to deny that. 30% in just a few days is a pretty significant amount of paper losses, and hopefully you didn't actually buy into the fear, and sell out of your positions here during this time. It's funny, just like a week ago, Tesla was a no-brainer investment. You can go in, the stock goes up every single day, you just put some money in and you end up profitable. And this is not even an exaggeration. On a regular basis, I would wake up, check my charts, pre-market, Tesla would be up a few percent. During the day, it'll be up a few more percent. And this just continued day after day. And guys, I was out here being like, what is going on? I'm a huge Tesla bull, but what we saw in Tesla stock was just pure greed and euphoria. And I've been in the market for a little while now, and what I saw with Tesla was something that I haven't seen with any other stock before, and that's what got me really concerned about it. And when I got questions about it, especially those in my VIP membership group asking about it, I would let them know my thoughts, which was be careful. I don't think it's sustainable. I don't think that the run we saw, which clearly now is true, was sustainable for the long term. And a lot of people who bought in the high 400s, or if you're unlucky above 500, have been burnt pretty significantly here at this time. The key message I keep trying to get across is that patience is key. You have to have patience in the stock market. You have to have patience when investing. And if you had patience with Tesla, you now got a 30% plus discount on the stock from last week's prices. But now the question, is this the buying opportunity that everyone's been waiting for? Is this the time to buy Tesla stock? And like I said, the short answer, in my opinion, is no, but it depends. Just for some context, I'm a huge Tesla bull, and you can see here on this chart where I personally was buying Tesla, and this is way before the stock split, and my cost adjusted basis now after the split is around $50 or so. So I was one of the few who managed to get into this business when there was pretty much no good news coming out, and so far I've been rewarded for that. So clearly my perspective here when I look at Tesla stock is very different from a lot of you looking at it maybe for the first time ever. So just remember that, just keep that in mind as we continue on with this video. Now here's a chart of Tesla stock, and we can see the sell-off, and we managed to find some support on the 50-day moving average. This was my target if you watched my previous video where I said I expect Tesla to sell off to the mid 300s. And just as a recap here, have a listen. Either way, the point I'm trying to make here is that Tesla is overly stretched from all of its moving averages, which signals to me a pullback is around the corner. Does this mean we will crash all the way down to say $200 per share where the 200 moving average is? Unlikely, but I think a pullback to the mid 300s is very possible, and honestly would be a very healthy move for the stock over the long term. Well, now from the chart, we're at that mid 300s range, and yes, this was a healthy move for the stock, but does that mean I'm buying? Well, we can see that on the stochastics, the number 2 label here, we are getting oversold, but we haven't leveled off yet. So I expect to see some further downside or sideways movement for a little while, and I don't really expect Tesla to bounce back to the $500 range anytime soon. Now, while we are now getting a quote-unquote 30% discount on the stock, in my opinion, it's still very expensive at these prices, which is why I'm personally not buying just yet. But that may change in the next couple of weeks. We'll have to wait and see. I have a long-term outlook on the stock, and I'll get into that in a minute here. This year, Tesla is expected to pull in just shy of $30 billion in revenue, and next year around $41 billion in revenue. And this means for 2020, the price to sales ratio is expected to be around an 11 or so, and 2021 is expected to be around an 8 based on these estimates. Now, if you watch any previous videos where I go over high growth stocks, you know that a metric that I absolutely love looking at is the price to sales ratio. I believe when looking at these type of companies, if you're looking at the traditional PE ratio, price to earnings ratio, you're pretty much never going to get an opportunity to buy in because these businesses don't trade at your usual PEs. Even companies like Amazon, for example, high growth monster, does not trade at a reasonable PE. It's always been an expensive PE, it's still an expensive PE, but it's an amazing business and an incredible investment. So I choose to look at price to sales because it gives me a good metric based on how much money the company is pulling in. So it's still based on the fundamentals of the company, and it gives me an idea of, you know what, if the company is pulling in X amount of dollars, it should be valued at roughly around this amount. But the key is the company needs to be growing consistently year over year, and if that's not the case, then the price of sales, in my opinion, is not a good metric either. But lucky for us, in Tesla's case, their growth is phenomenal. They're seeing some incredible growth, and I think that growth will actually accelerate over time as these other gigafactories open up in Germany and other places that they plan to open them up. So for those reasons, I think price to sales makes sense here for Tesla. Think of it this way: revenue is just one part of the equation, but if revenue keeps growing, the company keeps getting more efficient, then naturally profits will follow, and we've seen that happen again with companies like Amazon. Now for me personally, when I look at price sales ratios, I want to find a business that's around a 2x or lower, because that tells me that it's most likely extremely undervalued or out of favor, and that's usually when I like to buy these kind of high growth stocks. Now if you look at Tesla here, about a year ago it was trading at under a 2x price of sales, and this was when I personally was very bullish on the company, and I publicly stated that I was buying shares regularly and built up my position in the business at that time. But like we just discussed, today the price of sales is around 11, and next year it's about 8 or so. So you are paying a pretty penny here for Tesla. You're paying a premium. You're paying for that future potential growth. And for me personally, right now, it's a tough sell. Now, that doesn't mean I won't buy Tesla stock at all in the near term. I'm definitely tempted to do so, but it just means that I have to accept the fact that we're paying a massive premium here compared to about a year ago. But like I said, guys, my circumstances are different, especially if you're buying Tesla stock for the first time here today. So just keep that in mind. But let's say you didn't get into Tesla stock last year and you're looking at Tesla for the first time today here at $350 per share. Is it a buy? Maybe. Okay, so here's my perspective straight up. If you're buying Tesla today, you are accepting the fact that you're paying a massive premium on the company and you're paying for a few years of growth, probably 3 to 5 years or so. And because of this, I think that it's very likely that we could see Tesla stock move sideways or consolidate for the next little while, because there's just so much optimism baked in right now to the stock. Now, if you're buying Tesla for the short term here and you're just expecting a quick bounce, I don't really have too much to add because I don't really focus on the short term. Anything could really happen. The markets can move the stock drastically. And like we've seen in the last few days, Tesla could correct another 30%. You just never know in the short term. But if you're like me and you have a long-term perspective on Tesla, that's where things get a little bit interesting here. I believe that in the next 10 years or so, Tesla has the potential to be a $1 trillion company. And here's why. They have many segments going for them. They have Tesla Automotive, of course, but they also have other segments of the business that could be very successful ventures. You have Robotaxi, you have Tesla Insurance, and you have Tesla Energy. These are 3 things that I think can make this company worth significantly more than it is today. Now, if Tesla does hit that $1 trillion market cap, and maybe it takes them 10 years to do so, but if they do, the price of Tesla stock post-split will be $1,073 per share. Clearly, that's huge upside from today's price of around $350. And this is why you hear a lot of YouTube channels and other media sources out there say Tesla stock is extremely cheap today. They're looking long term. They're not looking at Tesla in the next month, in the next year, in the next couple of years. No, they're looking at Tesla for 2030, 2040 and beyond. And they're saying that this business is on the path to be a $1 trillion company at minimum, which makes the valuation today look very cheap. Now, if Tesla somehow was able to double that estimate and go to a $2 trillion market cap, again, pretty possible if everything that they're doing actually works out. This has massive potential. Then the stock price at that point would be $2,146 per share, and that is a post-split price, which means at that point we'd probably see another stock split in Tesla. So clearly you can see there's upside here with this stock over the long term, but the tough question you need to ask yourself is, how long do you plan to hold this stock? Is it just a few weeks or just a few months, maybe even a couple of years? Then maybe this is not the best buying opportunity for Tesla. However, if you're looking at Tesla for a retirement account, or you have at least a 10-year time horizon where you don't need that capital, then Tesla is starting to look very attractive. If these tech giants like Amazon, Apple, Google, Microsoft can all become $1 trillion companies with what they do today, then Tesla definitely has that potential once they start generating big profits, because that's when a lot of these value investors that don't want to touch Tesla because of their PE will start considering the stock, and that's just more inflow of capital. Right now you have people that are optimistic on the company. They don't really care about the profits in the short term. They don't really care if Tesla loses a ton of money, as long as they're capturing market share, continue growing, and continue expanding their business segments. That's what investors are looking for. That's what I'm personally looking for. And as long as Tesla keeps executing on that, I will stay bullish on the stock. But either way, guys, regardless, this is not financial advice. This is just my perspective on the stock, where I sit here today. And like I said, if I didn't own Tesla stock today, I probably would consider buying a little bit of Tesla stock, maybe starting a position, and then if it starts moving lower, average into that position, and if it starts moving higher, well, just let that ride. Now, like I briefly touched upon, just because I'm up massively on my Tesla position does not mean I'm not going to add more to the stock. And in fact, who knows, I may actually do so in the coming weeks. And if you want to find out if I do or not, make sure to check out the description down below to join our VIP membership group, where I disclose every trade that I make, as well as the stocks that I hold in my portfolio. But either way, guys, I hope this video gives you some perspective on Tesla, the business, and the stock. And I hope it helps you make a rational decision on whether this is a good investment for you, and helps you leave FOMO and greed and all that other stuff behind, so that you can become a more successful investor over time. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Remember to smash that like button down below if you found value in this video. But either way, don't forget to invest positively, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.